On this week's Hot List, Jakarta Justice, a convicted former cabinet minister, has his corruption sentence reduced. Critics say the reason is absurd. Papal Trail, Indonesia invites Pope Francis to visit. What would it mean to Catholics and this Muslim-majority country? And Mother Mall, renovation of Jakarta's very first shopping center is done. Why Sariah remains serene. Hello and welcome. This is Hot Indonesia. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Let's get to it. My co-hosts, Sandrina Malakiano, Deputy CEO of Polmark Indonesia from her home in South Tangerang, and Millie Lukito, CEO of the Mobiliari Group from her home in Jakarta. Hot topic number one, Jakarta Justice. He was the Joko Widodo cabinet member in charge of the country's maritime industry. But Edi Prabowo was convicted of bribery last July in connection with lobster export permits. First sentenced to 5 years, an appeals court raised it to 9. Then this month, the Supreme Court reduced the sentence back to 5 years. The reason? The court said the former minister did a good job and gave hope to the public. Now, the International Corruption Watch Group immediately reacted by saying the ruling was absurd. Millie, do you agree?
I super agree that the ruling is unfortunately unfair. Politician, especially as of service, an active minister, should be held to a higher gold standard. And he or she needs to know that above all else, he or she should act differently, should say things differently, and should be able to protect not only farmers or not only fishermen, but everybody. Republic of Indonesia citizens.
I don't think you can consider a person's previous performance on the job as a reason for this kind of sentence reduction, especially, Sandrina, since the basis of a public official's job is to be honest.
I agree, Dalton, and I'm also with Millie. When someone becomes a public official, that person needs to have accountability. They are in office to serve the needs of the people. That is why they are called public servants. The people will demand for their public accountability. And in this particular case we are talking about, I agree completely with what the Indonesia Corruption Watch or ICW officials are saying. The ICW believe that those factors used by the Supreme Court to reduce the sentence are absurd. Come on, if he really did a good job and gave hope to the people when he was the Minister of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries, then he would not be prosecuted by the Corruption Eradication Commission or KPK. So it is natural that this court's ruling has not been well received by the public. As this is just another sad story, Dalton. Another example of how our judicial system is being far too lenient on corrupt politicians. This is what we are seeing. The ICW said that the panel of Supreme Court judges ignored our criminal code, which emphasized factors that weigh on public officials who committed criminal acts by using their power, opportunity, or means that are given to them. There's an article in Indonesia's criminal code that clearly says the punishment may be enhanced with 1/3 of the sentence instead of a reduction. So what has happened here, the circumcision of sentence given to Edi Prabowo is feared to be seen by those who want to commit corruption as an encouragement. It becomes like some sort of vitamin that will give them the courage to do so. It will not have a strong deterrent effect.
Yeah, and you know what? It leads you to think, why did they do that? You know, that's the big question. Now, Edi Prabowo was found to have accepted nearly $2 million, equivalent of $2 million in bribes. Part of the judgment was that for that to be returned, along with a 400 million rupiah or $30,000 fine. Now, that should be standard punishment, right, Millie? Reimbursement maybe hurts more than jail time, although some might disagree.
I think the jail time would be very much deserved, and I think that is more of a punishment than the reimbursement. And of course, Dalton, in certain other cultures, for example, Japan, public servants who have done corruption like of this size would number one would want from himself to resign first, to resign and make public apology, and then move on and serve time. And the judicial system also supports that public servant should be clean. So the fact that in Indonesia this can happen, it still shows that our judicial system, the law system, the legal system of Indonesia still pick and choose. Not all are equal in the sense of the Indonesian legal system, and that's very sad.
And let us not forget, in China, corrupt officials are executed, which is what Eddie Prabowo said. If you remember, back when he was on trial, he said, if I am found guilty, I should be put to death. That didn't happen. Now, last thing, Sandrina, briefly, what does this do to the public faith in the judicial system when a plain thinking person would say taking bribes is not doing your job well?
We are talking about a corruptor who abused his power and position as minister by issuing a policy that illegally gave him ways to gain profit. This would definitely destroy the people's faith and trust in the judicial system, Dalton. Again, I must underline the fact that corruption by public officials is an extraordinary crime. The punishment given to corruptors who abuse their power should be defended or even increased instead of being reduced. Giving corruptors leniency like this is so wrong, and the public's level of trust will surely plummet.
And the question, again, I say again, is why did it happen? Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly. Papal Trail, why the Pope is being invited to this Muslim-majority country.
Makin pede sama Tede, karena Tede terampil digital, karena Tede terampil digital. Bersama dengan kami, komputer makin bisa dikuasai.
Saya ingin mengumumkan kerjasama dengan The Indonesia Channel. Saya mendorong semua entitas untuk bergabung dalam upaya ini dengan mempromosikan produk dan layanan mereka di platform digital yang unik ini.
I love Indonesia. I love the food. Yummy. Wow. I'm gonna hunt for ingredients. Now I'm ready to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. It's done. Let's meet to eat.
Foodiepedia on the Indonesia Channel.
Kamu sering lupa mematikan lampu shade. SDP solusinya. SDP merupakan modul dengan teknologi mikroprosesor yang dapat diaplikasikan di semua motor dengan fungsi pembatal sein otomatis setelah berbelok. Jadi tidak perlu khawatir lagi ketika lupa mematikan sein. Untuk keselamatan berkendara, pasang SDP di motormu sekarang.
I'm Trần Minh Ngân, a visitor net Việt in Hanoi.
I'm Thairat Thomya of Thailand's Thairat TV in Bangkok.
I'm Monica Sambodet from the National Television of Cambodia in Phnom Penh.
I'm Raymond Goh of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm Glenda Chong of Singapore's Channel News Asia.
I'm Raisa Chantami of the Indonesia Channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
This is your weekly look into the dynamic Southeast Asia region.
ASEAN Today on the Indonesia Channel.
The Best of Bali takes viewers on a special guided tour to the treasures of the island of the gods.
For the
romantic dinner is beautiful.
The best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Millie, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, Papal Trail. It happened twice before, in 1970 and 1989, but it's been 33 years since the leader of the Catholic Church visited Indonesia. And this month, Religious Affairs Minister Yakut Cholil Komas officially invited Pope Francis to come and see, quote, the beauty of diversity here. Now, of course, the visit will depend on COVID-19 restrictions. Sandrina, it's fair to say it was a different Indonesia in Suharto's time on the previous visits. The country now has more conservative voices feeling free to speak out more loudly. Do you expect protests if and when the Pope comes here?
Honestly, I do not. Many other religious leaders have visited our country, and the majority of our people are those who believe in our national motto, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means unity in diversity. Out of many, we are one. Yes, we know there are some extreme believers, or we have heard some conservative voices around, but these kind of people, they are small in numbers. They may be quite loud sometimes, but that would not be something we should worry about.
Now, Millie, as a Catholic, this would save you a trip to the Vatican. What would this visit actually seriously mean to you and say to others in this country?
Well, first of all, Pope Francis is very well regarded and very much respected by the Catholics, not only in Indonesia, but around the world. So his visit here would be something of a huge present for all Catholics in Indonesia, me included. And I know that during President SBY, he has actually made also the initiative of inviting the Pope, but do you know that the quote unquote the cost of bringing the Pope from Vatican to the outside world is actually exorbitantly high. First of all, of course, the cost of his security. So because of that, that plan at that time was canceled and delayed. So hopefully today, between our government and the Vatican, the papal government can come up with some sort of an agreement on how to mitigate or how to manage the cost of bringing the Pope and his team outside of Vatican and to Indonesia.
Okay, like Indonesia was different 30 years ago, this Pope is a different kind of leader. He's already said that gays are, quote, children of God, and that, we discussed this in our show, pets should not be substitutes for children, among other controversial statements. Sandrina, do you expect that there could be blowback here on what he says, not just because he's not Muslim, when he comes here?
Dalton, I love my pets and kind of treat them like my own children, but not as a substitute for my children. I also call them, my cats, Na, which means child. I don't see anything wrong with that. But again, should there be any kind of protest here when the Pope does come to visit our country, I believe it would be just done by a small group of people. I'm sure the Indonesian government would be able to prevent any form of chaos from happening during his visit. And aside from that, I'm sure that before coming here, the Pope and his team would surely have made adequate preparations and research on the Indonesian people, how to understand our people better. Above all else, Pope Francis is known as the man of peace. In his message for the 54th World Day of Peace last year, Pope Francis appealed to the international community to foster a culture of care by advancing on the path of fraternity, justice, and peace between individuals, communities, peoples, and nations. There can be no peace without a culture of care. He called for a common, supportive, and inclusive commitment to protecting and promoting the dignity and good of all. A willingness to show care and compassion, to work for reconciliation and healing, and to advance mutual respect and acceptance, a culture of care as a path to peace. This is such a beautiful message. We should all embrace this.
Okay, yeah, and having said all that, though, he's still just a man. and chosen to lead the world's 1.3 billion Catholics, including approximately 8 million here in Indonesia. Millie, what might you say to your Muslim friends about the Pope, who questioned his role, being a man but leading a church as he does?
Yeah, but I would like to reiterate what Sandrina has said. Pope Francis is very much known as a man of peace. And he is actually one who is adamant in being inclusive. And not only Muslim, non-Muslim, Catholic, non-Catholic, but he sees everyone as member of humanity. And we should be serving each other with love, with peace. Such is the man he is. So I really do not see any problem or challenges if he visits a Muslim country like Indonesia or any other country that is non-Catholic. This man will bring peace and love to everybody.
Yeah, it is so refreshing to hear some of the things he says. More Hot Indo is ahead. Mother Mall, how this cultural shopping center spawned the mega malls of today.
Produk lokal memang handal, kreasi lokal memang spesial. Ayo beli buatan negeri, bangga sekali produk sendiri. Dari busana sampai kria, kuliner juga buatan kita. Ayo beli kreatif lokal, marilah beli produk kreatif lokal. Berjuang negeri, beli kreatif lokal, banggalah beli produk kreatif lokal.
I'm Caitlin Turner, and welcome to Yoga Bliss. Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. Roll your knee out and up to the sky, breathing here.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel.
It's your girl, Arjuna Glanja,
And you are watching
iPop Playlist.
Kau datang di hidupku, terus berlari.
We play Indonesia's best music videos.
Kau goreskan warna baru dalam lembaran hidupku. Sanggup kau berjanji maafkan diriku.
You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3, Mother Mall. It opened in August 1966, the first department store and skyscraper in the capital. Sariah was named after President Sukarno's nanny and focused on locally made products such as batik and wooden carvings. After 2 years of renovation, it's reopening this month with a fresh look but same mission. And now As we all know, there are more than 150 malls in Jakarta, too many I think, but somewhere to go for families to keep cool and be entertained. Now, Serena was one of the first malls I visited when I moved here, and I was looking for souvenirs for family in the U.S., and I got to tell you, the wooden carving I found interesting. I don't know what it was, but I was told that it's a penis, and you've seen those. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, you got it. Okay, now Sanjina. Well, let's ask Millie first. Millie, your first memory of Serena, I'm sure you grew up going there, and what role did it play here?
You know, Sarina is actually just next door to my house, to where I live. So every day I will pass it by ever since I was very, very young, ever since I was a child. But growing up, let us be reminded that when it was first founded in 1966, it was the first mall ever. And then growing up, now it has such a huge challenge, because Indonesia, Jakarta in particular, is the country with densely populated malls. So Sarina is up against a very tight competition. So my question is this: can the management, can the government ensure that there is a longevity and there is a sustainability plan? Because growing up, I always see the ups and downs of Sarina. Sometimes it can be good, like what you said. You found a lot of interesting souvenirs. You found interesting batik, for example. But then if you come back, let's see, next year or the year after, sometimes the merchandise, the goods selection are very dismal. So my question is, you have to put, the government ought to put a very strong retail team in there to make it work, so that Sarina can compete with other malls around the block, you know, and there are already 2 major malls around the block. Can it compete with these 2 major malls with 20 years of experience? That remains a big question.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes, yeah, because it's a state-owned enterprise, that's always the problem, or sometimes a problem.
I hope for the best for Sarina. You know, it has to this time.
Yeah, it survived to this point. Now, Sanjita, you know, many of the major malls, the competitors, are like, as Millie pointed out, like spaceships. You know, they're like huge, multi-level and big, colossal things. But the mission of Serena has to be appreciated.
Indeed. Sarina, for me, is not just a mall. It is a historical building. Some even consider it a landmark, as it was established in 1962, inaugurated in 1966, as one of the first main buildings in the heart of Jakarta. Aside from that, it was initiated by our first president, Sukarno, to promote locally produced goods. And that is what Sarina has been well known for. So it is great to know that despite the fact Sarina will also feature new facilities to meet the demands of today's market, like providing a digital business and F&B areas. After the reopening, Sarina will also have a culture section and will still aim to be the center of trade and promotions for local products.
Yeah, and I hope I wonder if they still have the item that I first bought when I went there. Okay, it is feedback time now, and a viewer, SN, greeted us on YouTube. Hello from India, and hello to you. And Omar posted this on Instagram. Keep up the good work. We support your channel from the UK. Happy to hear you enjoy our show. Here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Hot Indonesia or Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Now, this week we must say goodbye to our co-host, Sanjina Malakiano. It was on October 4th, 2019, when a new team first appeared on the latest version of this program. And now, 127 episodes later, Sanjina, we wish you well in your new pursuits. And before final words, dear, let us take a quick look back at some Sanjina moments.
I want to believe that Indonesia is free from corona, but I have doubts. Yes, because
Confirmed.
you see from China, and then it jumps over Indonesia to Australia. It's already in Europe and in Japan. Popularity, of course, is always number one in the political arena. But yeah, I mean, it's about time now. It's like taking medicine. This is what usually people do. So just this part. Hello, this is Hot Indonesia, your only source of topical debate.
I will always be there, so you can tell me anything and I'll listen.
Oh no.
Now, final words, Sandrina.
Oh my God. Phew. I must say it has been such an honor and definitely an enjoyable experience hosting this show with you, Dalton, Millie, and Sandy. 127 episodes. Wow. The Indonesia channel, especially the Hot Indonesia team, has been part of my life for the last 2.5 years. You have become an important part of my journey. Everyone, including you, our viewers, are so dear to me and have a very special place in my heart. Sorry, nothing will change that. Thank you, Dalton Tanonaka. It has been an amazing and fun ride. Hopefully, one day we could do something else together, a new program, perhaps. Thank you, Millie Lukito. You are such an amazing co-host. I have one word to express how it has been hosting this show with you. Ashik. Thank you, Sandiaga Uno, for making every episode we did together in the first year so informative and rich. Thank you, Izul, Miftah, Raisa, Iwan, Kevin. Guys, you rock. And to all our loyal viewers, thank you. Now, let me close this last episode of mine the way people always remember me. I am Sandrina Malakiano. Until we meet again, sampai jumpa.
Final words, if you have any, Millie.
Well, I have never actually met Sandrina physically yet because of the COVID challenges in the past year. But we always meet in Zoom situation, and I have to say to you, Sandrina, I truly learned a lot from you. Whatever, how you deliver, how you present yourself, and your thoughts, your words, and the level of English that you have is impeccable, and I really I feel blessed that I'm able to learn how to be a co-host from you. And I thank you. And if you think that co-hosting Hot Indonesia with me is ashik, I feel very touched and humbled by that. I will truly, since last night when I learned that this is your last, would be your last session, I feel sad and I feel down, because each Friday, I look forward in learning more from you, knowing your insights and what you think of a specific topic. So, Sandrina, I will miss you, and feeling so sad that this is our last session together, but also hopeful that we shall be doing something else in the future together. Thank you, and all the best to you, my dear. You are our Hot Indonesia family forever.
And my final words, someone who combines thorough research with compelling articulation makes for a good talk show host. And that's what Sandrina brought. She was a leading voice for this country, for viewers around the world who knew maybe nothing about our culture, our politics, and our people. That she was a face for Indonesia was a good thing and will be missed. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sandrina Malakiano and Millie Lukito, I'm Dalton Tanonaka. Thank you very much for watching. Please join us again next time.